Yeah, it was typical Tom Brady. Nothing's changed in my mind. It actually reinforced what I've been saying forever, that Tom Brady continues to be the luckiest of all time. And it doesn't mean that he didn't make any plays or he didn't play well at some point, but he's lucky. Things have always seemed to work out for him, dating back to the start of him as an NFL player with the tuck rule and when he fumbled the ball. It's just always seemed to work. Yesterday I looked and I saw a white Jameis Winston in the second half, throwing picks like they were going out of style. That's fine. I just want people to know I'm a rare breed in the business because I'm not a jock sniffer. I'm not one of these guys that worship athletes, and I'm not a fanboy. I'm going to call it the way I see it. No matter how much fandom or whatever people got their rooting interest, I slept like a baby last night. It doesn't matter to me who wins or loses. It doesn't, other than my own personal gain and bets that I had. But I don't root for anybody, whether people want to believe it or not. I'm not that guy. I never grew up as a Packers fan or Aaron Rodgers fan. I grew up as a Jets fan in New York as a kid. And I haven't been a sports fan since I started as a reporter at the Daily News in New York in 1986. So this was par for the course. It is what Brady has made his career and his myth on, and that's what we saw yesterday. He got another trip, another defensive situation for him to bail him out on a bad second half, and so there we go. He's on his way.
Stop it! That is the biggest load of hogwash, of poppycock, of balderdash, of hooey that I've heard in the last 2, 3, 4 years. Rob Parker, the load, the luck, that's old, man. It's played out. The dude has won 6 Super Bowls. He's been to 10. There is only one franchise in the entire NFL that has been to more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. Of one franchise, not player. And guess which franchise that is? New England.
No, you mentioned it. What was the coach's name? Whose record was 2 and 14,000.
What does that got to do?
Because that's where we go when we talk about this current NBA. You want to go and beat your chest and tell us how great the Golden State Warriors. They're not great. The NBA stinks. You smell that, Chris Broussard? Smell my thumb.
I do smell it.
Smell my thumb.
And let me make a correction.
To the high heavens.
Let me make a correction from a few minutes ago. You didn't shower. I smell it. You didn't shower. What are you talking about? The NBA stinks.
I'm a little moist.
Let me name a few people for you who aren't on the Golden State Warriors. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, and all that crew in Boston. LeBron James and a bunch of number 2 picks. C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard, Nikola Jokic, James Harden and Chris Paul, 2 Hall of Famers. Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Probably 2 Hall of Famers, certainly 1. The only person ever to average a triple-double 3 straight times. What are you talking about? That's competition up and down the line.
And let me tell you, here's Chris Broussard. This is where these NBA slappies like Chris Broussard are all like, oh, fawning over the Warriors. Oh, my God, they haven't done this since 1966.
Those are facts. Why are you changing your voice?
Because that's you. I'm going to tell you this. When you talk about that, you know when the Celtics were the last team to make it to 5 straight finals? Do you know how many teams were in the NBA back then? It wasn't 30. You know how many it was? It was 10.
Not 2.
That ain't, yes, thank you, LeBron. 4. It was 10 teams. So
what's that got to do with anything?
It's so much easier. If you had a great team back then, there weren't free agency, people weren't moving. So it was easy for a team to do it. It tells you with 30 teams, there's no way in the world you should be going to the finals 5 years in a row. It tells you about the lack.
Argument.
No, I'm not.
That's how great they are.
It tells you about the lack of competition. Don't compare this to the Celtics of the 60s. Back then, let me give you what the Eastern Conference was. You ready? Philadelphia 76ers, Boston
60s?
Celtics. The Kings, The Knicks and the Wizards.
This is the 60s?
This is the 60s.
That's your best argument?
That's all that there was.
60s?
You ready for the Western Conference? You know what the Western Conference was back in 1966? Warriors, Hawks, Lakers, Bulls, and Pistons. Just like LeBron James went to 7 straight.
Eight.
No, wasn't it 7?
8 straight finals.
From the East?
Yeah, 4 with Cleveland, 4
all right,
with
so
Miami.
8 straight in a watered-down East. That's why he came to the West, couldn't even make the playoffs. That's why nobody respects it. Because there's no competition. They don't respect it because there's no competition in the East. Finally, when LeBron left, all of a sudden you got better teams and better players.
Aaron Rodgers better deliver. Better win. Let's put it that way. He can have a bad game, but he better win. Because it is going to rain down on him something awful if he doesn't. All right, 877-99 on Fox.
That's what you're hoping for. That's what it sounds like in your voice.
I like
you're hoping
I'm not
because
against Rodgers.
because you're him.
Yes,
you are, Chris.
But I'm just saying.
You are because it's not going to work with your narrative. If Aaron
What
Rodgers
narrative? What narrative?
Your narrative about you kept saying. Listen to the intro. Aaron Rodgers didn't have a Pro Bowl season. That's all you've been saying.
He didn't.
No.
Last year.
But I'm just saying this is the narrative you've had.
What narrative?
And this year,
I'm not Bucky Brooks, Rob.
This year you couldn't say that because Aaron
he had a great year. Yes.
Okay, right.
I mean, I don't have a narrative. I call it like I see it, and I see it like he better win. Seriously, he better win.
Better win or what? Are they going to throw him off the planet, Chris? What does that mean?
It's all
he
Rob,
better
this
win.
Is sports.
What are they going to say?
Are you really going there?
The MVP season doesn't matter.
The
MVP season didn't matter. Did they do that to Mahomes when he lost the AFC Championship
they're going to
game?
throw him off the cliff.
If he loses, they're going to throw him off the cliff?
Come on, Rob, please. You that sensitive about Aaron Rodgers that you're getting ridiculous.
I don't get it.
Yeah, they're going to throw Aaron Rodgers off the cliff. Okay. I mean, we might as well not talk about this stuff if that's where you're going.
Tom Brady's got to win, too. Tom Brady finally has to beat the Saints. Otherwise, the whole season was a failure.
He's only got 6 Super Bowls
It was a waste of time, right? He has to win, too. He has to win, too.
You're that sensitive about Aaron Rodgers. My goodness.
It ain't about Aaron Rodgers, Chris.
This is unbelievable.
It ain't about Aaron Rodgers.
It is, because
it's the most ridiculous thing. Because I don't care. I don't care who wins.
You do care.
I do not care. That's a narrative. You bring them up every single time we talk about any quarterback. That's some problem you have.
I have a problem. You don't want to talk about it unless he wins.
Ask Rob G. We've talked about this. We could have a topic, and we're talking about somebody, and then you bring in Aaron Rodgers to the conversation every single time. What is it? Let it go. Let it go. Okay, I don't get it.
Rob.
Let it go.
877-99 on Fox. Panties are all bunched up.
What's happening, Mr. Chris Broussard? How you doing? My chest is stuck out. I'm feeling really.
I don't know why.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cocky, even though I slept in the parking lot all night because I was waiting. After the game last night, remember we were hanging out?
We hung out.
We watched the game together.
I was good. It was glad to be back there because the last time I was there, you walked out prematurely.
We're talking about
during the Patriots.
Here we go.
Just left.
Here we go.
No announcement. No, I'll catch y'all tomorrow. No, I'm out, fellas. Just gone.
Bye, Felicia.
Walking up, pacing back and forth on Pico Boulevard in L.A., looking like you lost your favorite puppy dog or something.
I was there last night. And after
you gonna ignore that story?
Yes, I am. After last night, I just figured I'll drive up to the radio station and I'll hang out overnight until it's time for our show. Because I told you. And I'm going to welcome in everybody before we get crazy.
So we can get going.
Because I am so
You talk
hyped.
about prisoner of the moment. Look, I don't ever want to hear that phrase come out of your mouth again, Rob Parker.
I smoked a pack of cigarettes last night. That's how good I felt.
Look, you can be a prisoner of the moment.
It's okay.
But don't complain about other people being prisoners of the moment.
It ain't a prisoner of the moment.
This is who you are now.
I've been calling this from day one. It was fraudulent. It was fraudulent. Everything about it. All right? just can we get the cold take replay? I've been telling you the Patriots are fraudulent with a capital F. They're fraudulent. They hadn't beaten anybody. Oh, it's the greatest defense in the history of the NFL. They've scored more touchdowns than the opponents had scored offensively. They had 4, and all their opponents combined only had 3. Wow, look at this. This is unbelievable. They're going to go undefeated. Tom Brady, stop it. I knew when they played a good team. Yes, they were. And they got their asses kicked. Did you hear me? All right, Chris, they got their butts kicked out. You're a religious man. They got their butts kicked.
You say that word every day. So
I do. Cool. You're good with it. My goodness. Who around NFL America didn't roll around in it? It was so good, baby. You hear me? I loved every minute.
Keep it PG-13, please.
They were getting their butts kicked. But other than that, it was all Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, I love you. I'm telling you, it was great because they finally played a real NFL team, and they got exposed. Front and back, both. We know what it is, and you know what? It ain't pretty. And it ain't big. I'm telling you.
Keep it PG-13. Was that like 5 innuendos?
They will not get there. They will lose, and you'll remember this day. Chris Broussard, who was awful in picking games yesterday, including this one, will rue the day that you go against me. I have been on a hot streak. Everything I say, everything I touch has been gold. I told you.
All right, enough.
It's been gold.
Enough.
You better recognize
that you predicted the New York Jets, who got their butts kicked by the Marty in Kentucky. Marty, what's happening? Get River on the phone to say something about Rob.
No, River loves me.
Yeah, River. I've been trying to talk him into saying something, but he likes Rob so much. Hey, River, will you say it?
He'll probably diss me instead.
He's munching. No, he's munching on some tape chips.
All right, what you got, Marty, today?
I am with Chris as usual. The way I see it, yesterday there was no team that played in their home stadium that lost yesterday, and a road loss, especially after you're 8-0, is nothing to make that big a deal about. I feel like it's the AFC. The AFC still has to. Oh, River's yelling at me. What? Say it, River.
Why do you have to be such a hater, Rob Parker?
Wow!
River, good job, River. I like on that note. That was nice.
You know what? Hey,
you lost River.
River, I can't believe that. Cry me a river.
So the Aaron Rodgers we've all come to know and love, and one of the all-time greats, has fallen off. And 39 years old in a couple weeks is what he'll be. And that's when it happens. Peyton Manning was 39 when he all of a sudden went from having a terrific year to getting benched during the season. Tom Brady has just been an aberration, and some people think, well, that means Rodgers and others have plenty more years left, but he doesn't. That's my take on Aaron Rodgers and these Packers.
Yeah, I think it's a prisoner of the moment take. You should have had that take last week when he threw the 3 touchdowns and they beat Dallas. I think it would have been a stronger take at that point, because then you would have said, I'm not buying into what he did. I still don't think he's good. We saw Brady in his last.
What was my take?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
asking what it was.
No, I'm saying that would have been a stronger take. I'm just saying, rather than off of a bad game, and he played bad. I don't remember, but he played a bad game yesterday. Is it impossible for a guy to regroup and get back to playing the football that he's used to? I'm not saying he's going to win another MVP, but can he play better? Yes. Can receivers be better?
Elite?
Yeah, of course he is. Yes,
okay.
Yes, he is. Right. Unless, because if he's not elite, I'd like to know how many guys are really elite? Is Josh
There's only
Allen?
a handful.
How many guys? Let me hear you.
Josh Allen.
Josh
Patrick
Allen is
Mahomes.
still elite.
Absolutely.
But even though he's thrown like 6 picks in the red zone the last 2 weeks. Okay, so he's elite.
Absolutely.
So bad game
he
for him.
He scored 24
So
of
bad
his
game
teams.
for him doesn't mean anything.
This isn't a bad game for Rodgers. It's a bad season.
Yes, but there's also no offensive line, Chris. There's the receiving core, and the best receiver he's ever had.
When he was elite, he could carry
was also
receivers.
taken from him. I'm just saying. I'm looking at it in a whole picture, and I'm not saying
like what,
like the whole thing.
You say he's through 20 times, and you call me a prisoner of the moment. That was one game. The week before that, he threw 43. Last night, he threw 39. He threw 41 against the Jets, 35 against Washington, 39 against the Giants. I mean, that was one game. He threw 20 games.
Was Brady still elite his last 2 years in New England or not?
Yeah, they won a Super Bowl. He was elite.
He was elite.
He beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game.
Oh, yeah.
He was elite.
Yeah, but was he elite or did they cheat or did they get a break?
I don't know about it. If you know something about cheating, break some news. All I know is he was elite. He won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And got to 2 straight AFC title games.
So it doesn't matter what your numbers are if you have a number 5 defense that got him there, right? It's just about he won. The same way he won the Super Bowl.
Part of it.
No, same way he won the Super Bowl against the Rams with no touchdowns and 190 yards, but he won a Super Bowl.
But
he won the league.
Was he elite when he
I'm asking you. I'm
telling you. You asked me and I answered you.
I'm telling you that
he was elite. He was making throws.
It's too easy to be a prisoner of the moment.
Prisoner
and that's what
of what
you are.
moment? I'm going the whole season, Rob Parker.
Last night.
This ain't off last night. I told you a whole season.
No, Chris, you didn't tell me that after they beat Dallas. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, that doesn't mean he wasn't.
No, but I'm just saying anybody could. You're like,
I'm not Rob.
Your typical Chris Broussard is like he went to the Grand Canyon and said, "Hey, look, there's a hole in the ground." That's the take you just gave. Coming off a bad game like that.
Okay, let me see. If I went to the Grand Canyon, if anybody went to the Grand Canyon and said there's a hole in the ground, everybody that went to the Grand Canyon would say there's a hole in the ground. But yet you're sitting here saying Aaron Rodgers is still elite.
I'm telling you.
No, let me finish. I listen to you. You're saying we disagree. So if it's obvious, why would we disagree? You think he's still elite. I think he's not elite, so it's not obvious. Because you still think he's elite.
Yeah,
so
because
I'm going off the whole season, Rob. Yes, he had a good game against Dallas. So what? Nobody came. Did I come on the air and say, "Oh my gosh, Aaron Rodgers is back. Watch out. Here he comes"? No.
Chris,
I still thought they would not make the playoffs.
Chris, you're the same guy who stumped over and over about Dak Prescott. About that he was on his way or he was elite.
Dak Prescott
I just want to talk about.
Am I still saying he's elite?
Chris.
Do we really want to do this?
No.
You're the same guy that in 2012
I'm just
said
telling
Tom
you,
Brady would never win another Super Bowl.
I'm just telling you that it's hard for me.
He's done.
That it's hard for me.
It's hard for me to listen to you.
It's hard for me to buy into.
Because you said Tom Brady was not elite
in 2012. It's hard for me to buy, but Dak Prescott was never elite. That's where you're wrong. Dak Prescott was never elite. I'm not saying
I'm always right.
I didn't say that. I'm wrong too, but I'm just saying.
Oh, were you wrong about Tom Brady?
No, I was not wrong about Tom Brady.
In 2012, you weren't wrong.
I was not wrong about Tom Brady.
He's won 4 Super Bowls since then, Rob. How could you not be wrong? You
because
never win another
I told
Super Bowl.
you, A, that they cheated, and B, they've been very lucky. That's Bobby in Florida. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Bobby?
Hey, guys. I hope you guys have a nice Thanksgiving.
You too, Bobby. Thank you.
And Chris, I have to agree with you. And Rob, this isn't the first time we've talked about this. Stop it with the Brady hate. Come on, Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, hold on, Bobby.
He can't win the big one.
Bobby.
He won once.
Bobby, don't tell me what I should say or what my opinion is, okay? You have yours on Tom Brady. I'll respect it and respectfully disagree. But don't tell me what I should say.
If you check Brady,
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
All his records,
Did you hear what I said? Yes or no?
everything.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Bobby.